All right, we have gotten, or I have gotten, I know you probably have too, but lots of questions about intermittent fasting, and we wanted to make a video, answer more people at one time, so we can give you the skinny on what we think about intermittent fasting. Mm-hmm. So what's your first thing about it?
Well, I did it for a while.
How long did you do it?
Like 4 to 6 months. I can't remember the exact span, but I started in like January. It was a couple of years ago or something.
Okay.
For me, it worked. I was doing mostly paleo. Like I was telling you earlier, research shows that if you do it more than 5 days a week, it doesn't like make a difference, and that's why you see a lot of people saw it first, like with The Rock, or like people like that, and then they have like a giant cheat day where they like eat.
I've seen The Rock do that. He's like eating a big pizza.
Yeah, and all kinds of stuff like that. There's a lot of people that have gone through and done it, but the hard part is if you don't do it every day, then it meant like you get hungry again, right? So the first week you're going to be super hungry when you do it because your body's not used to it. Then it gets used to it. But again, if you're doing it every day, your body will stick more used to it. I think the hardest part for me was like if we taught in the morning and someone's like, let's go get food, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I've fasted 5 times this week, I'll just do it, and then it starts over again the next day. I'm hungry in the morning. So that's the hard part of, I think, maintaining it. Personally, usually when people are asking is they're eating bad and they think like eating less is going to make a difference, and it will initially, but the problem is long term. If you're eating crap, say you're doing intermittent fasting, you're doing Twinkies, over time your metabolism is going to slow down because you're eating things that aren't going to boost your metabolism. So if you're not already eating good food and eating vegetables, then that's going to go down, and then your metabolism is going to slow down, and then you're going to have to eat less if you want to maintain your weight. So then you're only eating 1 meal a day, or no meals a day.
That makes sense.
And I started off. There's different versions. I think I started with the I think.
Right. So let's start there. Right, where you go. I think where you're going is what is intermittent fasting, right?
Yeah.
So it's basically, you just correct me if I'm wrong, but it's basically fasting. So what happens is it's like a window of not eating versus eating is basically what you're looking at. Most people wind up fasting over the time when they sleep, because when you're asleep, you're not hungry. So you'll like not eat from say 9 p.m. until 12 or 1 o'clock the next day, right? Skip breakfast. It's usually the most socially acceptable meal to skip.
There's different ones I've seen.
Or they'll fast until like 5 o'clock in the evening. Yeah,
I got on into it because Dan, former coach here and one of my best friends, he was stopping eating at like 8 o'clock at night, and then he didn't eat until 10 in the morning, right? So that was like 14 hours or something like that.
Yeah, the 14-10 or whatever. Yeah. You'll see those numbers like 14-10 or 24 or, whatever.
So I got to the point where I was doing where I was only eating in 4 hours out of the day. But that was like over, I didn't start there. I started with
just skip a breakfast.
Yeah, I was just not eating until afternoon. And then after that I tried the other one. I'll say like when I got to the point where I was doing the 4 hours, that's when I felt the best with it. Like I was digestively, I felt the best. Like my mood felt the best because again, when you eat, your blood sugar rises and comes down and crashes. That's why you have midday lulls and all that kinds of crap. And depending on what you're eating, will affect that more than others. And that's why eating is such a big thing. But yeah, so there was I think the 14-10, and then it was like 16 hours, and then it was 20 hours.
That's a big one.
And that's the one that I was doing. And so the hard part is you have to make sure but anyways, when you're working out especially, you got to make sure you're still getting the same amount of calories. Right. So I was eating like 2 to 2.5 meals basically in that 4 hours. So I would eat, and then about an hour or two later I'd try to eat again, and then I'd have like a little something at the end, like what your typical snack would be have at the end of the day. So again, it helped me maintain my weight for a long time. Like I said, in social situations, Christmas comes up, you get up in the morning, everyone's you're with family, all it takes is just one time, and it just kind of it's hard to get back into the cycle again. It's kind of with any diet, you fall off of it, it's hard to get back in. But what I find a lot of people, when they ask about it, they're just not eating right in the first place. And that's just going to be a place where it's not going to work at all anyways. Right. So you already have to be eating right. If you're not doing that, you have to do that first.
Yeah, that whenever people do ask me about it, that's my first question is like, why are you asking? It's usually about weight loss, right? And so I think it's a sort of a trendy thing. Maybe it's fallen out of trend a little bit, or not as super trendy, but it has been trendy. Intermittent fasting in general. So people will see it as like a fix. This is like a silver bullet thing I can do.
Yes,
and you're right. If you're doing it, but then your other 2 meals are not great, you might as well just not do it at all and like fix that part.
Yeah,
the effort is better spent on fixing your overall diet.
Yeah, the first thing is taking bad things out of your diet. I think the one thing when I first started, what I rarely do anymore is have really bad snacks, or if we're eating carbs, we're getting things at Rosewood Market, Whole Foods, Primal. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's better calories for you. But yeah, so. Just like any diet, though, too, is once you stop doing it, you're going to gain the weight back. So if you're hoping to lose 20 pounds, and then magically, when you get off of fasting, that it's going to fix it, it's not. You're
right, because you are actually shifting back into the phase you were in before you fasted.
Yeah. So the only time I would say to do fasting is one. If you can self-control and try to keep it going, or even if you have breakfast and you're willing to go through that again, great. 2, you already have to be eating right. And 3, this is something that you're thinking about doing forever.
Yeah.
And those are, like, if you're not meeting all 3 of those, then there's no reason to try to do intermittent fasting.
Right. You're right.
Because, again, you can do the 5 days on, like I said, research shows that's the only real benefit is it's showing that. And then a lot of people have a cheat day, or they'll have a cheat day and then a day where they can eat, but they're not eating like crap, and that tends to work as well. But you have to mentally be able to do that, and I think that's one of the harder things to do. That's why you really only see like bodybuilders, fucking movie stars, and people like that doing this kind of stuff. Because they have people literally watching over them 24 hours, or like a bodybuilder whose mindset is like, like cheat day, that's my treat, and then like they're not drinking alcohol, they're eating broccoli and chicken, and they're cool with that. So it's a hard thing, but I've seen other people do it. I know Dr. Tom from Columbia Family Care was doing it for a while. I don't know if he still is. He was another one. Him and Dan were both doing it at the same time, which got me interested in it.
Dan lost a ton of weight.
He did, but
his diet was, on top of that, was kind of intense, right?
Yeah, so he was basically eating 2 giant like salads during that.
Yeah, I saw the pictures.
He was only doing the 14-10.
Yeah.
But for like breakfast, he was doing a massive salad.
Yeah.
Like it was the whole bag of spinach that you buy. He was doing that as the salad part, and then chicken, stuff like that. He would have things throughout the day, like maybe a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, whatever. Like his kids were eating, and they didn't finish it. He would eat that. I know he told me that. And then. But usually it wasn't until like Friday or Saturday he would have pizza or something like that. So he was eating really well when he did it, and he lost a lot of weight. And but again, I don't think that he's even stuck with that over time. Right.
I think that's the hard part, is sticking with it.
Yeah, because it's just it depends on your job. Like my friend, he's a police officer. Every freaking 3 months his schedule changes.
Right.
And so when you're eating at night, now you're eating midday, and if you're a nurse, same thing. It usually varies all the time. And again, the other thing I think for people that have more steady jobs is just the social aspect of it.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of times on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, or whatever, you're getting up early, doing things with people, and
brunch.
Brunch is a really familiar thing. We do it here, and and then if you're working out in the morning, that makes it even more difficult, right?
Right.
Because then you really have to, then you're eating at a really weird time. Maybe you're only eating in the mornings.
Right.
And it might make it really difficult if your family's eating at night. So I think it's really complex. Again, I did it for a while. I just think that the easiest thing if you want to start fixing your diet is just kind of what we talked about. Find one thing a week, change that. Make a better choice. Right. If you're snacking on chips, make it sweet potato chips. It's small things like that, because you have to think about it 10 years from now.
Yeah, can you do this for 10 years?
Yeah.
Is that what you're getting? I mean, yeah.
I mean, that's, pretty much it. That's why, paleo, I started and I used it, and I didn't stick with it forever, but we make paleo meals every week, right? We use certain diets.
It's a way to frame what you eat and think about what you eat.
Yeah.
Versus having no frame of what you're preparing. Like, what the hell am I preparing? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Now you have a framework for preparing food.
Yeah.
I mean, it works really well that way. So what do you think about, if I'm doing it the wrong way too, I'm here to learn, but fasted cardio. So we're doing some cardio, trying to build our endurance and our cardio capacity. And what I've been doing since we've started, I don't know, today's Wednesday or whatever, since Sunday, is fasted cardio. So I won't eat before we come in and do that.
Oh yeah.
And then I'll eat directly after that. So it's not a true intermittent fasting plan necessarily. It's just that I won't eat until after we work out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on more how you feel. Now, a lot of strength lifters really believe in that, because, and I don't know the exact science or how accurate this is, but what do they call it? Like a carb window, or I don't know what they exactly call it.
Carb cycling or carb window.
Yeah, basically when we talk about people that you have friends that eat crap and they don't gain any weight. Some people, what they are told is their bodies understand how if you eat a donut, what to take good and bad from it to a certain extent, and they'll crap out the bad, they'll keep in the good. But what a lot of people have theorized, or maybe there's research on it, I just haven't read any articles of real research on it, so I'm not going to say it's true, is that after you're doing a strength or after a workout, that your body can analyze food better right after you eat it.
Makes sense.
It makes sense. I don't know if it's true, but I think personally it's just more of how you feel. If I work out in the morning, it just depends on how I feel that day. I ate something this morning. The morning before I didn't. I don't know.
Right.
I just didn't feel like it. I think for me it's about the intensity of what we're doing.
Right.
Because I just don't want to barf.
Right.
We were doing long rows today. Right. 2,000 meter rows. So I ate something before because I knew I wasn't going super high intense where I'm where my heart rate's up drastically.
You'd be going for 30 minutes or so.
Yeah,
you need that energy, prolonged energy.
But when we were doing sprints the day before, I just I already felt like I needed to throw up when we're doing that.
It's 10 minutes of work though.
Yeah,
there's no long-term endurance being drawn out there.
Yeah, so that's, I think that right now, if you'd ever want to really get into that, is something where you need to be doing that for a long time and testing what works best for you, and you can see it in weight loss or in how you feel when you're doing it. Are you pushing yourself more? So that, I think that's more subjective to each person, and we are all different, and it depends on when we sleep and when we get up and all that kind of stuff. How much you're eating, how big you are, how small you are, how fast it is, how slow you are, all that kind of stuff. So that's more subjective. And I think that just takes time of testing. Like I said, I can't ever eat like pork or anything high in fat, even like 3 hours before a workout, or it just stays in my stomach.
Bad news.
Yeah, I just want to barf it back up.
Right.
The only time I've ever thrown up is when I ate bacon from working out, and I mean it was hot outside.
Yeah, that's not a good mix.
Yeah, eating bacon.
Cool.
So.
All right, so the verdict is it can work.
Yeah.
It might not work, but you should definitely, if you're going to do it, you need to set a longer term window for your test and to test it and then see how you feel and then tweak it if you want to keep going. But be wary of doing it for a little bit of time and then not doing it, because you can reverse the kind of gains you got really fast.
And it's scientifically proven to work that it will help you at least stabilize your metabolism throughout the day, which will help you burn more. Because again, there's no spikes and there's no downs. But on the term of can you personally do it, that's your own self-will.
Right.
That's your own self-motivation. And that's what it all comes. That's what almost every diet comes down to. Sometimes it can lead to, are you allergic to it, or my body digests things differently than some other people, and you have to acknowledge and adjust. And some things might make you gain more weight than others, and maybe some people. So you need to.
Right.
That's testing, and there's a lot of ways to test that. I know I had something in here that I never got the chance to using, but it's supposed to test your blood sugar levels and things like that.
Cool.
Right after you eat, so you can see things that will affect. So when you eat something, it'll show how much more does it affect your blood sugar level and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, Dr. Tom got me on that as well. It's really an interesting thing to try. Food allergy tests, things like that. Those are all tools that can help you with it. But again, the big basics are, do you know you're eating a majority of the time? Is it not good for you?
Let's start there.
Yeah. And if you know that's a problem, then that's a mental hurdle, and that's something you have to work on mentally. There are ways of doing that: jotting things down, talking with us through it, sending us your food, like even just trying to talk with like a therapist, things like that. It's because it's more mental than it is anything else.
Right, absolutely is.
Because it's a type of addiction that you might have to something, and to reverse and change those things, you have to be mindful. And that's why, personally, I think the easiest way is just finding something that reminds you of it that's better for you.
Right.
Even candy. Rosewood has like healthier candy, right?
It's true.
And I'm not saying like, but it's just not putting extra junk in. You get M&Ms. There's like healthier M&Ms, right? It's still sugar and stuff like that, but it's a lot of times it's real sugar. There's no additives. There's no things like that, and that does make a difference in weight loss and stuff like that as well.
It does.
So yeah, there's a lot to it.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it. If you need more info or you want to talk about specifics for you, we're here. So just reach out to us. Let us know. But that's the
overall breakdown.
Full breakdown as we can give, I guess.
Yeah. Other than getting specific with each person and. Yeah.
Cool.
All right.